All right, at this time, we'll call to order the meeting of the Sierra Madre Planning Commission, regular meeting of Thursday, May 21st, 2026. If we can have a roll call, please.
Chair Dennison,
Here.
Vice Chair Simcock,
Here.
Commissioner Yu,
Here.
Chair Commissioner Moran and Commissioner Brennan asked to be excused. You have a quorum to start the meeting.
Great, thank you. Next up is the approval of the agenda. I would like to recommend in somebody's motion that they change the order of the public hearings so that we hear the variance first.
I'll make a motion to do that.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Right. I know that our city council liaison is rushing here in traffic, so we may rearrange that one. So at this time, anyone wishing to speak before the Planning Commission is asked to complete a speaker card and provide it to staff prior to the start of the meeting. Speakers are generally limited to 3 minutes per person, and time may not be delegated. This public comment section is for items not on the agenda. Seeing no speakers, we will now go back to the report from the city council liaison.
Here she is.
Well, hi. Good evening, everybody. Sorry for my tardiness. I just came from LAX. Just wanted to give you guys just a huge props for commending you for all your knowledge and ability to get through the ADU resolution that we got through with the help of city attorney and planning. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for all your due diligence. We have nothing else to announce except for that. Thank you.
And you have your special meetings coming up next week, Wednesday and Thursday?
Thank you. Yes, we have a special meeting especially for budgeting. So we really would love the world and everybody in Sierra Madre to come and help us decide where you want to see our budget go to, and especially things that you find a priority and to help better understand our budgeting. So I'll see you all there. Thank you for the reminder.
Thank you. All right, next up, we will go to public hearings. First up is variance 26-01, a request to allow construction of an outdoor patio dining area with a reduced setback on an existing commercial property located at 14 East Sierra Madre Boulevard. Does staff have a presentation?
Chair, yes, our assistant planner Huang will deliver the presentation.
Thank you, Director Lin. Good evening, Chair Dennison and Planning Commissioners. Tonight, the Planning Commission will be reviewing variance application 2601 for Taylor's Old Fashioned Market located at 14 East Sierra Madre Boulevard. The applicant is requesting to construct an outdoor dining area with a reduced setback on an existing commercial property. Pursuant to Sierra Madre Municipal Code Section 17.60.010, any deviation from a zoning standard, such as a reduced setback, shall require the approval of a variance. The project site is located on the southeast corner of Sierra Madre Boulevard and Baldwin Avenue. Its land use and zoning designation are both of the commercial use, and the lot size is currently for about 43,000 square feet. These are some existing site photographs of the project location. We can see there's an existing concrete ramp on the east view and also existing parking spots. There are 3 on the project location, and then there's also an existing planter along the property line extending from the north. The existing commercial building is currently constructed on both the north and west property lines. The applicant is proposing the outdoor dining area towards the east of the existing commercial structure, which is going to be about 1,544 square feet, also aligning to the existing structure directly on the north property line. Additionally, this proposal would reduce the existing parking count on site of about 5 spots. But with the proposal is also a van accessible parking spot directly adjacent to the proposed dining area. The proposed occupancy load provided is also the maximum allowed for this structure size for an eating place as well, which is proposed to be 147 people. This is some additional project data that was reviewed as part of this application. The outdoor dining area includes a covered patio, which is the 418 square feet of floor area. And pursuant to Sierra Madre Municipal Code Section 17.36.030, any addition in excess of 500 square feet does require a design review permit. In this case, since it's less than 500 square feet, a design review permit is not required. With this proposal, all yard setbacks are in compliance, with the exception of the front yard setback as part of this variance application, which is 0 feet. And parking and occupancy proposals are in compliance with the proposed size of the structure. With the proposed outdoor dining area, an elevated patio area is part of it. This is a 7-foot extension from the existing concrete ramp that we saw a couple slides ago. And part of this elevated patio is a covered awning across it. And both of these will be aligning to the north property line and also with the existing structure. And included with this elevated patio area is an ADA platform lift, which is directly adjacent to the proposed van ADA parking space as well.
Can I ask a question? There will be access into the market through this eating area? In other words, this ADA lift will be able to be used for the store as well?
That's correct. There
Okay.
are two doors towards the north side of that face where they can enter into this eating area. And adjacent to the elevated patio is a lower leveled outdoor patio area. This includes a wooden trellis with a 6-foot perimeter fence around it, which is proposed to be on a level slab on grade concrete of about 4 inches. And this is also proposed to be 2 feet from the north property line. And within that 2 feet, there is a proposed planter on the north and east side of that proposed trellis included. This is an existing and proposed northeast elevation of the site. We can see the existing ramp on the top elevation, and compared to the proposal with the new awning and trellis with the planter and the 6-foot fence. This is the proposal on the east side facing the existing structure. The existing structure roof line actually goes over the property line hovering the commercial sidewalk of about 2 to 3 feet, and then the proposed awning and patio dining area would be directly on the property line.
Is there a requirement for the height of that fence to be 6 feet? Or is that their design?
That is the proposal from the applicant.
But there's no requirement for it to be that tall? Okay.
And these are some elevations without the planter and perimeter fence. So seeing it behind the 6-foot perimeter fence. And we can also see the ADA ramp or ADA lift on the left side of the east elevation as well. And with the application of a variance, it does require the applicant to have the burden to prove to the reasonable satisfaction of the planning commission that this variance does not grant a special privilege and that it is an accessory improvement to an existing commercial use and that similar uses, patios, have been permitted on other commercial properties. And that this variance does not change the use of the property as it will remain commercial. And that that the property has a unique physical configuration because the existing structure is built directly on the north and west property lines. And that the existing lot layout limits reasonable development and that the outdoor dining improvements are considered reasonable use. And lastly, the variance is consistent with the general plan and the following objectives and policies.
Can I ask a question? So what are we actually reviewing? I know that they're asking to be able to build on the property line instead of, but wouldn't it be 5 feet away from there, right?
That's correct.
So that's what we're reviewing, I understand that, but do we have any purview in reviewing the look or the materials or anything like that? It's just the 5-foot setback portion.
Thank you for the question. We are reviewing the 5-foot distance requirement.
And Commissioner, you, unlike maybe design review permits that you've seen for other developments, this is purely discretionary.
Okay.
So you can provide your comments regarding design
Oh.
for this development. So, not for a Taylor's Market in general, but as to the proposed development, you can comment on design.
Okay, great, thank you.
During deliberation, we can. do
Yes,
that,
not right now.
yeah. So I guess I didn't remember this about the code, that there was a 5-foot setback required from the front. Because as you walk up Baldwin, every single store is to the property line. And we've always encouraged people to build directly to the property line. That's the look that we've always wanted for the downtown area. So I guess I'm confused about how it is that we express our desires to have people build to the property line, but then the code is a 5-foot setback. Can anybody help me understand that? All right,
That
sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to mention that that is a great concern because staff was also surprised to see the code requiring a 5-foot setback.
Sure, we can look into that. The code was previously amended in, I think it was 2023, if not some 1 or 2 years prior to that, and in which there was a very thorough look at the commercial code. And we'll look into see if there was any look and review about that 5-foot front yard setback and what the commission's disposition was at that time. And we'll get back to you on that.
Okay, yeah, please do, because I think I attended those, and I remember us working very hard to bring it all the way to the property line, especially in that downtown zone. We didn't want those pockets like this would require by code. So if you find that there was not strong feelings or a good reason for the 5-foot, I would love to consider bringing that back before us. Because it's just inconsistent with how we try to design things down there. I think I share your surprise. All right, any other questions for staff?
Just a quick question, is the lift and the van and parking spot, and is that all part of like ADA compliance that's needed to bring just because the front's flat and there's a ramp in the back, I was just curious if that was compliance.
Thank you for the question. The applicant has expressed that those additions for the ramp and the lift are to comply with ADA requirements.
Okay.
Because I think the rear parking doesn't have any that lead directly into without the cross.
There's a ramp in the back.
There's the ramp
And
in
the
the
front,
back and the
you can
front's
roll in,
flat.
but they're probably going to segregate it somewhat, right? You don't want people
Yeah.
running through the restaurant.
Probably. I was just curious, that's fine, thanks.
Any other questions for staff? I don't think I see the applicant. I didn't know if the applicant had anything to say. Doesn't look like it.
There are a couple of slides left in
Oh,
the
okay, sorry.
presentation. The applicant is present.
Okay, good.
So this variance application does qualify for a Class 1 category exemption under CEQA, Section 15301, subsection E1, and that it involves an addition of no more than 2,500 square feet to an existing structure. So if this application, the Planning Commission may adopt Planning Commission Resolution number 2601 as presented, conditionally approving variance 2601, or adopt the resolution with modifications, or deny the request identifying findings that the Planning Commission cannot make on the basis for rejecting those findings, or continue the public hearing, providing direction to staff and the applicant. It is recommended that the Planning Commission adopt the resolution as presented, conditionally approving this variance. And that concludes my presentation. If the Planning Commission has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. We do have the General Manager, Corey, for Taylor's Market present at the meeting as well. And I do believe he has a small statement for the commission.
Can I just ask a question right before that? So the reason that it's partially covered and then trellis or shade covering, is that because if it all went to full cover, they would exceed the lot coverage for that lot? Or are they able to do that?
That wasn't the intention of it. It just so happens that it's less than 500 square feet. But if the applicant were to propose the covered patio to exceed 500, it would go to the level of a design review permit.
Got it, okay.
And is there some kind of a concrete pilaster between the sidewalk and the driveway where they're proposing the 6-foot fence? Or is it just this fence that would be separating people and cars?
The fence and the 2-foot planter with the ficus trees in there, it's going to be on the north and east side,
Okay.
surrounding
Okay.
the patio area. Some on the south as well.
Okay. Any other questions for staff?
That's it.
All right. We'd love to hear from the applicant.
Think it's on there? Okay. Well, good evening, members of the Planning Commission. My name is Corey Taylor, son of Kevin Taylor, and I'm here on his behalf this evening. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here for an unforeseen issue. I'm here tonight with my wife, Leah Taylor, and my little brother, Kai Taylor. I'm fourth generation member of the Taylor family working for Taylor's Old Fashioned Market. And this September, our family will be proudly serving Sierra Madre for over 60 years now. We truly appreciate the opportunity to present this request, and we would sincerely like to thank the commission and the city staff for their time consideration for this project. We believe that this outdoor patio will continue improving the experience for our customer while maintaining the character and responsibility of the store that we've always tried to bring to our community. We committed to operating the patio respectfully, safely, and in a way that benefits both our customers and the city. Thank you again for your support and consideration.
All right, any questions for the applicant? Nope. All right, then at this time, I think we will do disclosures of ex parte communications.
I was at the site about 2 hours ago, but I didn't talk to anybody about it. I was just buying groceries.
Drive by there all the time, didn't talk to anybody.
I get my lunches there many days, but I have not spoken to anybody about this. So, all right. At this time, we will take public comment from anybody wishing to speak on this specific agendized item. Any person wishing to speak before the Planning Commission is asked to complete a speaker card and provide it to staff. Alternately, you can walk right up and speak if you so choose. We'll now open it up. All right, I guess we'll bring it back for deliberation. Who would like to start?
I guess I could start. I have no issues with the setback. I think it makes a lot of sense, especially in that area where it's really open and the building is, I don't think it's going to do anything to set it back 5 feet. I guess as an architect, I'm looking at it and going, I wish it was nicer. I wish it was more designed. I wish it was, because that's a pretty prominent corner, right? Everyone's driving through there. And it has a feel of sort of a, do-it-yourself, backyard, somebody just put it up kind of thing. And I just wish it was designed so that it was nicer for that corner and for the city. That's how I feel. But I guess if our purview is limited in those kinds of things, I guess I could live with it. But I love the idea of, and I probably would go there, and for sure. But I just wish it would be nicer at the end of the day.
No, I agree. The concept is good. My only, I guess, concern would be we have a 2-foot planter, and we have ficus trees that are. Most ficus trees I've seen are usually a lot wider than a foot from the radius in there. So that's probably going to start hanging out onto the sidewalk pretty quick. I don't know if that's the right choice for that, or if maybe we just make it a little bigger. But I have no problem with the 0 setback, and that's what we're here for. So.
Yeah. I think the 0 setback makes all the sense in the world. It makes it look like every other building that's within a quarter mile of there. I think we have these amazing hills to the right outside of it, and we've got these 6-foot fences and trees that are going to block the views. I know that the trees come and go, and so they should feel free to put flowers there instead, and maybe shorter fences if I were the ones doing that, but obviously I'm not. I think that the variance is easy. So sounds like we're in agreement. I'll look for a motion to approve variance 26-01.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
I'll second. Aye. Let's vote again.
Oh, I thought you said second.
No, I didn't say second.
Oh. Do we need to take another vote? Okay. All right.
Just out of order.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And can I just make one more comment just about the design? We're gonna, so with, you know, the building of the outdoor patio, so the covering will only be for the upper part of the patio. It won't carry off to the lower part of the patio, so I just wanted to just confirm that. Also, with the ficus tree that we're gonna be putting in on the side there, it's really just for privacy, and it's also, I believe from what I remember, it's a like non-invasive tree, so it won't, you know, the roots won't, you know, get up onto the sidewalk or underneath and destroy, you know, additional property. So they also fill out really well. And to your point, we'll keep them, you know, nice and trimmed to make sure that they're, you know, not going to be overreaching onto, you know, public property. And so, and also to your point as well, we will be, you know, making it really nice, really a great design, and you know, we'll continue to, you know, keep you guys updated if you so choose to. But yeah, we want to make it really nice for the community, and so we think that it'll be a great place for everyone to come in and enjoy, you know, a nice meal. So, thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up is Municipal Code Text Amendment, MCTA 26-02, Objective Design Review Standards. Does city staff have a presentation?
Thank you, Chair, and good evening, Commissioners. So due to scheduling conflicts, tonight's continued public hearing for the Sierra Madre Objective Design Standards will not be focused on the design standards themselves or that document. Our partners from the Arroyo Group will be returning on June 4th, accompanied by Onyx Architects, for the continued review of the Sierra Madre Objective Design Standards. So tonight's focus on the matter will instead be on the municipal code text amendments. And so following the discussion and direction from the commission at the last meeting, several adjustments have been made to chapter 17.50 as proposed. The first is the applicability of the standards was changed from construction projects to development projects. Language regarding the incorporation of Sierra Madre Objective Design Standards now includes amendments. The exceptions and exemptions section was simplified. Now there are only exceptions, and there's not a minor exception. There's no qualified exception. There's simply only 3 exceptions. The finding to grant an exception on the basis of maximum density has been eliminated and replaced with a finding on the basis of architectural quality. Provisions for the Alternative Design Standards Agreement has been eliminated entirely. Density bonus provisions were revised and simplified. Development projects cannot benefit from density bonus law and the exceptions afforded under Chapter 17.50. And provisions for major amendments to the Sierra Madre Objective Design Standards has been broadened as a catch-all for anything that isn't a minor amendment. And staff also contemplated whether to eliminate the section in its entirety. However, there was some reservation by staff that it serves a purpose of informing a developer who might possess an outdated copy of the Sierra Madre Objective Design Standards that there may be amendments to it, or it might prompt a developer to inquire whether the document has been updated or will be amended to address a new state law that we might not be aware of. That summary concludes the amendments that have been made since the last meeting. Now we can open this up for a text reading and go line by line at it, but that otherwise concludes my presentation.
Any questions before we dive in? I would like you to say more about the minor versus major amendment. I want to understand that. I think that, you know, this body especially, because all it takes is one resolution for us to update this, right? So 10 days practically is the shortest time. And, you know, 21 is probably the longest time that it would take to get this updated. So help me understand kind of those cases where it wouldn't be just as easy to bring it before the Planning Commission.
So these amendments would involve a more substantial change. Although a state law could involve a substantial change, we would want to inform the commission of any inconsistency that might arise out of a general plan update that then has a standard inconsistent with that policy decision or goal. And so yes, an amendment procedure would first require that we be aware of the amendment needed, take that forward to the commission, and present it within that time period that you mentioned. So as short as about 10 days, and as lengthy as about 21 days from that point.
I guess the reason I'm asking that is the example you cited was a developer comes in and finds some kind of discrepancy in it that we didn't think about or contemplate. They're bound by the objective standards from the date that they file. So even if you do a ministerial update, they're going to either have to refile or we're going to have to change the code so that they can then be bound by the then current standards, right? Because you're creating, just because you change it doesn't mean that they're still held to those standards, because they're held to the standards from when they file, right?
That is absolutely correct, but that doesn't mean that they can't come before they submit an application during a consultation phase and ask those questions then. So there's still value to it, though it isn't necessary to include all these provisions in.
Yeah, I guess I hear that. I think the flip side of that coin is that I think a lot of people come to the desk and ask questions with an incomplete set of plans and walk away with their impression of what they can do and can't do, and they don't find out the meat and potatoes of it until they've actually submitted. And so I guess with that in mind, an alternate route might be able to say that if it comes before the Planning Commission, that then even if they've submitted, that they can then be held to the then current standards, right? Is that language that we could add, Mr. City Attorney?
I'd have to think through how to phrase that. It's possible, yes. Let me think through how to phrase it.
Yeah, I guess what I'm solving for is I hear what you're saying. I bet 30% or 50% of the time, the discrepancy isn't found till they've actually submitted, and by then it's too late, even if you do the ministerial one, right? And so maybe if we set it up so that there's a higher threshold of it coming, all changes coming before the Planning Commission, but then they're retroactively active for all permits that are open, or luckily we have a brilliant legal mind amongst us to give us that guidance. But because to exactly what you're describing, if they're already in check and they find something, they've got to resubmit. And so if we want to make this something that is a little more nimble, allowing them to not have to refile because they've found a discrepancy that we didn't contemplate, maybe by making those all come before the commission, that might be a way to do it. Does that track?
Yeah, I'd like to hear what the other commissioners think, and then maybe we can begin trying to draft something.
Okay. Other commissioners? Oh, I mean, we're not in deliberation yet, so this is just, I was asking questions about staff's position on this. So I think I understand your position on it now. Were there other things that people wanted to go through? Are we supposed to do line by line in deliberation? Doesn't matter?
To you, Chair.
Okay. So I guess let's keep going on that then. What are your thoughts about that idea?
Yeah, I mean, I think that makes sense to me. Honestly, it wasn't something I thought of, but it does make sense to look into. It would make it more flexible, so I'm not opposed to doing that at all. I'm not sure would know how to do it. But
I could go either way. I mean, I think that's a good point, but yeah, I think it could go either way. And maybe once we get a little more clarity on the,
He wants more
law
time to
side of
think.
it. Yeah,
So
I don't-
maybe we'll keep
I don't
flipping,
really.
flipping pages.
Can I ask questions?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so under what you're contemplating, you're thinking getting rid of the minor amendments section entirely? Or would there still be a minor amendments process?
It would be just an amendment process.
Just an amendment process? And then if it's just an amendment process, you're thinking the applicant comes to the desk with some preliminary design. They bring it to the attention of the planning staff. Planning staff then brings that to the planning commission at the next regularly scheduled meeting via a notice public hearing. By the way, when it says notice public hearing, do we have some kind of standard articulated for that notice public hearing? Because usually for an ordinance, the standard is set under state law, but because we're doing this via resolution, are we gonna apply the same, with a 20-day period?
I think the general rule is that it be noticed unless otherwise described just through the regular agenda procedure.
So I think we should strike noticed public hearing because I think it gives the false impression that it's going to receive some kind of special noticing beyond just Brown Act noticing. So putting a pin in that one. So the process would be a simple amendment comes before the Planning Commission every time there's some kind of proposed amendment. Please give me a moment.
Yep, absolutely. I like the density bonus. I think that was a really nuanced way to handle it. That made it so much cleaner. It's an Amber Alert.
Like, whoa.
Question for you, for the Planning Commission. Are you contemplating a process where an applicant applies for an amendment, or are you contemplating a process where exclusively only the director can bring a recommendation? And the reason I raise that is because in the administrative interpretation context, which also exists under our municipal code, an applicant can seek an administrative interpretation which they paid for, because it generates staff time. And then, the director issues an administrative opinion interpretation upon request. That same administrative interpretation can be initiated by the director herself. So both options are available. Is that?
You bring up an interesting question, because what I don't want to do is take away planning's ability to interpret what we've written, because they're good at it. They've sat through all the meetings, they know what we're doing, right? So I don't want to take that away from staff. But you bring up an interesting question, because it could be that somebody with a different set of ideas wants to propose something contrary to the purpose of it. And would they have that or not?
Because as I look at it, 1 and 2 would, under A1 and 2, to comply with changes in state law or to ensure consistent with policy goals and objectives, those are things that be initiated by staff. But a major amendment sounds like a change in the objective design standard, which would likely not, I suspect, maybe come from the applicant, so.
I agree with you. I don't think we should take away the fact that an applicant has a way of getting to us with whatever they're trying to do, right? I mean, because what if someone at the counter just disagrees and doesn't want to bring it up, then does it just die there then? Or they don't have a chance to have any recourse with
I
that?
think any decision can be appealed to the planning commission, right?
Yeah, but that's a cost.
Yeah, that's a bigger burden, right?
So
Well, there's a cost for them applying to change the objective design standards.
correct. I don't know I mean, we don't have a cost for these things, but we do have a price for an appeal. And what, if we were to create an appeal procedure, do you know approximately what the cost would be? Just to give you perspective on what this would look like. What's a code amendment cost for if an applicant applies for a code amendment? It'd be something like that.
The code amendment, I'll bring this up right now, but it is quite expensive as I recall. I guess I would throw another question out. Does amending the objective design standards, a document separate from the municipal code, constitute a code amendment?
Yeah, it wouldn't be, I guess a code amendment wouldn't be a good example because there's a lot of noticing and
Right.
a lot of meetings that take place for a code amendment.
Yeah.
I guess maybe the first inquiry is, what, if staff knows off the top of your heads, what would be the price to appeal an administrative interpretation of the director? Because that would be an equivalent cost.
I think the current fee is set at 75% of the original application fee. So it'll be depending on
Wow.
what is the cost of the
That could be a lot.
interpretation.
So if you did an appeal process, it would be, they pay for the cost of the application, and then they would pay the 75% of that cost of that application to appeal to you if they're unhappy with the director's if they're unhappy with the director's decision on the objective design standard. So it'd be 2 fees as opposed to 1 fee directly to you.
Is there a ballpark for that? I don't even have I mean, is it $500, $5,000?
Yeah, let's see if we can find it in the
Just a little,
fee schedule.
It's not $500.
no, I just don't
Nothing's
know where it is though. I mean,
We've spent $500 in the last 5 minutes.
right.
So we would qualify an administrative interpretation under what we call a request for a planning consultation letter. That is currently $331. And an appeal of that would be 75% of that.
So 75% of $331.
Oh.
Oh,
That's
that's affordable.
That's a half of $500. So that's not crazy. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so, and that would be, so then even when they came before us, we could direct staff to update the design standards to reflect a change.
Right.
Right. Am I solving for a problem that doesn't exist?
I don't know.
And I did find the municipal code text amendment fee is $9,886.
That's a bargain. Okay, so then I guess, let me play this back. If we make everything come before the planning commission, if they didn't like the department's decision, they could do the appeal for $331. And if they didn't like that answer, then they could come before us for 75% of that.
That is correct.
So then they should just appeal it and go that route, because they can get to us for less than $500 that way. Yeah, so then we can just do
Makes sense,
all
yeah.
changes come before the commission and,
If we have that avenue, I think I'm okay with it, yeah.
yeah. So then I think as far as the actual code goes, we're just talking about striking the minor.
So then, if I'm going to read this correctly, it's going to read, any amendment to the Sierra Madre objective design standards.
Your mic's off.
Thank you. So the amendment would be striking A, and B would now read, any amendment to the City of Sierra Madre objective design standards shall be reviewed by the Planning Commission at the recommendation of the director, and shall be issued via resolution, period.
That's easy.
And staff can create an application process for that.
Well, it still doesn't let the public come and change the design review or the design standards,
Uh,
which I don't necessarily think is a bad thing. They can appeal them and
Yeah.
we'll hear them and then we'll decide if we think it should be changed or not.
Yeah, and if we can just add another sentence that any decision of the planning commission may be appealed to the city council.
I thought that was already understood, but I'm happy to add it. I don't.
Yeah, generally speaking, but I'd like to just make it express in the ordinance
Sure.
itself.
Great.
And Caitlin, if you don't mind saying, I don't have this, I don't have the statutory citation, I can find it, but, or the code section, but maybe appeal to the city council pursuant to, and then we list a relevant code section that talks about appeals to council. I don't have it in front of me, I can look it up. It should use the same method that we use for entitlements, entitlement appeals, that is.
And if we can change can to may.
Yeah, and here the relevant code section is Sierra Madre Municipal Code 17.60.115, Appeals of Director Determination. Yep, 17.60.115. Well, I'm sorry. No, it's to the city council, so the appeal would be 17.60.120. Yeah.
Thanks for thinking through that with us. That's a much more elegant. I just want to make it easy for applicants.
I'm sorry, one other thing. Any amendment shall be reviewed by the director and may be appealed to the planning commission. Any amendments shall be reviewed by the director and may be appealed.
No, that was supposed to be for, I thought that the director already has ministerial interpretation of it. We don't need to include that in here, right? Or do we need to specifically call it out as part of the new objective design standards?
This wouldn't be an administrative interpretation. This would be a changing the design standards. So I think we should clarify because it's what the director is going to be doing. So any amendments, I'll get back to you. Let me think
Okay.
about this.
Did anybody have any comments about any of the other edits?
No.
No.
If the members of the commission have their laptops in front of them, could I direct them to a specific code section? And I'm proposing that we mirror this code section. So municipal code section 17.12.060. Is it possible to pull that up on the screen?
17.12.
17.060.
Administrative interpretation.
So the way this, and I'll just wait until we have that up on the screen for the benefit of our member of the public. .12.060. So
That's an elegant solution.
so A currently reads, "It shall be the duty of the director, where reasonably necessary, to interpret the provisions of this title." I'm proposing we amend that to say, upon application, the director may interpret the provisions of this title to assure adherence to the city council's, or we can amend that to say exactly what it says here. Upon application, the director may now, as I think through this, the directors should be interpreting this, not making these changes unilaterally. So this should be coming straight to the commission, and so there is no interpretation of the director here. This is all going straight to the planning commission.
It should be understood that that the director would interpret the objective design standards. And so I guess my question is, does 17.12.060 apply specifically to a specific portion of code, or does it apply to?
No, it applies to everything under this title. So Title 17. So the zoning code, which would encompass this as well. But I guess what I'm trying to get at is, you all aren't contemplating a situation where the director is interpreting something. Instead, what's happening is someone is coming to the front desk and saying, "I don't like this. This should change." And that's what you're trying to account for with this amendment process, which is different than this administrative interpretation process, correct?
That really wasn't, I kind of came
Oh.
away from that. I guess my train of thought was planning commission would be the body that amends it as needed when suggested by the director. And to solve for the case where we find some discrepancy, or a developer finds a discrepancy, that would be within the administrative interpretation that the director currently has.
Got it. Very good.
I'm less concerned about somebody coming and saying, "I want to change the design objective standards," and if they do, they can make a comment from the podium, and we can look at it that way, right?
Perfect. That makes sense. In that case, Planner Wong.
Well, let me make sure that there's consensus with everybody. And
Yeah, no, that makes sense to me. That's the way I read the amendments. It wasn't somebody really proposing an amendment, we're fixing it to make it follow what we need to make it follow.
right,
Legally, or-
yeah, well, it could be because of code. It could be that
Right.
all of a sudden we created a loophole we didn't realize, and that
Right.
3 exemptions, exceptions. 3 exceptions are not enough, and we need to update it to 4. It could be that it wasn't clear in one certain area, and director would like us to review it. Any of those reasons would trigger this review, because I think the reason we set it up to be not in the code is so that we can do it much more quickly and nimbly, and we're a pretty nimble body.
So I think the edit to that first sentence is going to be, any amendments to the City of Sierra Madre Objective Design Standard shall be reviewed by the Planning Commission upon recommendation by the director planning commission shall issue its decision via resolution. Is they issue a decision by resolution? And then the remainder can stay. Any decision of the planning commission may be appealed to the city council pursuant to Sierra Madre Municipal Code 1760-120.
Yeah, that sounds good.
That's it. Thank you. Any other changes proposed?
I didn't have any, no.
All right, at this time, anybody wishing to speak on this specific agendized item may come before the podium. Let's try to keep it to less than 30 minutes per comment.
Don't say that, someone could just walk in and you're.
Yeah.
Hearing no participants, we will go ahead and bring it back for deliberation. I like it. Good work.
Yeah, I'd like to start
clean,
with thank you all for 2 weeks ago. I wasn't here. I watched as much as I could on the airplane today without falling asleep. And no, it was very good. So much hard work was put into it. By the time I got to it today, it looked great. So all the past hard work and all the recent hard work, thank you.
Yeah, agreed. Great job, staff. Thank you. I guess we will look for a motion to approve Municipal Code Text Amendment 26-02.
I move to approve municipal code text amendment MCTA 2602.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
Review.
I will also look for a motion to continue this item to our next regularly scheduled meeting of June 2nd? 4th? June 4th.
So made.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Thank you. Consent calendar, we're going to have to skip. Reports from Planning Commission.
No report.
Any reports from Planning Commission? All right. Next up is the report from city staff.
Chair Dennison, staff has posted the general plan update for open space and conservation element on the website for public review. The review period will started in on May 2nd, and it will go all the way to June 13. And we encourage the public to review and provide feedbacks to staff so it can be included in the final version. The next meeting will continue the objective design standards with our consultant, with our Royal Group and Onyx Architects. That concludes my report.
Thank you. I do have a question. What is the notice period for the city council to make a municipal code change?
20 days for the planning commission, 10 days for the city council.
Yeah, what was our deadline? End of
So
June?
we can't continue this item. We'll have to agendize the next item, right? Because they meet 3 or 4 days after us?
Chair, the public hearings for the city council and the planning commission have been noticed, have been duly noticed as required.
Okay,
Pre-noticing.
pre-noticing. Whew. Thank you. Great, thank you. And the representative will be back at that meeting?
Correct. Our Royal Group, Phil Burns, will be back with us for the Planning Commission meeting, and we just got a notice from San Gabriel Valley COG letting us know that he will also be at the City Council meeting on June 9th.
That's great. That's great that they would do that. And then one last question about that item. Will there be an update of the stuff that we've already discussed before then, or will there just be one update? afterwards, I guess?
That's a great question because June 4th is only 5 days before June 9th. So
Well done.
the city council will receive the information as it's made available. We'll forward it to them as soon as it can be forwarded to them, but it will be on the agenda for June 9th at city council. They will definitely be getting the municipal code text amendments that have been approved tonight. And the set of amendments to the Sierra Madre Objective Design Standards, we'll make our best attempt at packaging those all up after June 4th to be in the hands of city council by June 9th.
Sorry, and I wasn't totally clear. We've already reviewed the first 3 sections. Are those updates going to come back to us before the next meeting?
Yes. So our consultant said that they will provide those updates at the next meeting. And I believe to city council, they'll, from our meeting on June 4th, they'll provide a list of changes, but not necessarily incorporate into the final document.
Okay.
I think the only caveat to that is section 1, the reorganization of, the introduction into an appendix. That they said may take more time to do.
Okay. Okay.
But we'll get an updated version of it before the June 4th.
As to the standards that were pointed out, yes.
So I
Okay.
think we reviewed section 1, 2, and 3, if I'm remembering correctly. And so we'll get an updated version of that.
Okay.
Hopefully, we don't have to retread anything in there.
Right,
We can
right.
just do a really cursory review of that because we did put a fair amount of effort in. So, all right, great, thank you. Anything else from city staff or commission?
Nope.
All right, then we will adjourn to our next regularly scheduled meeting of June 4th.
Thank you.